Hello everyone, it's Anton again from Leica Darkroom headquarters Wetzlar, and in today's episode I will show you how to develop a black and white film step by step. It doesn't matter if you have just a basic equipment or you have a complete proper darkroom, the main principles are still the same. So first you need a roll of film to develop. I will finish mine and I have to rewind it. This Leica MA camera has no batteries, no motors, no exposure metering system, pure mechanical quality. And here you go. Leica Monopan 50 film we're gonna develop today. Once you have a roll of film to develop, the first step should be done in complete, total, absolute darkness. Either you will find at home a room without windows, it could be a bathroom, better do it at night, or you can use a changing tent. Changing tent is completely light tight, and you have to place there your roll of film, development tent with the reels, can opener and scissors. Normally, since we're in the darkroom, I just switch the lights off and stay in a total darkness or using a changing tent. And for teaching you how to do that, we're gonna sacrifice one roll of film. Inside is a reel for film to spool in and a very important core or pipe which makes a light lock. The chemicals could be put in and out and it still stays light tight. In the darkness you need to know where your equipment is. Development tank, reel, core, scissors, can opener. Then we open roll of film. This store can cut. And here in a film reel is a kind of slider. This is a beginning or entrance to the film. Goes to that slider in and easily entering. If it's stuck on some way, we can rotate it with a left and right hand, and the film easily goes in. At the end, we just need to cut the film from the core. So now we have a film loaded in the reel. Emulsion side is inside. That's why if you accidentally will touch with your fingers a base which is outside, it's not a big problem. It's gonna be washed out with the chemicals and water. And we put the reel on the core first. Don't forget, this is the most important step because this protects you from the light leaks. And we put it together into the tank, close with the lid. The film is loaded here into developing tank, it's light tight, and now it's time to prepare all the necessary solutions. First step, we're gonna use just the water, and we needed 500 milliliters. Water. Second, and the most important step, is a developer. We use a data sheet out of the packaging box of the film. Here are some recommendations, like it could be Kodak or Ilford or ADOX developer. Today we're gonna use ADOX HR high resolution developer, and it says us that we need to mix the solution 1 plus 49, which means 10 milliliters of developer and 490 of water. Milliliters of HR developer. First we put water, approximately half of the necessary amount. Then we mix it carefully but intensively. And fill with the water exactly up to 500 milliliters. According to the datasheet, we need 22 degrees Celsius. Let's check. It's a bit colder, 21.5, which is all right. Next step is a stop solution. Dilution 1 plus 19 means 25 milliliters of stop and up to 500 milliliters of water. Later I will explain each and every step how it works. Again, water, mixing, and filling up to necessary amount. And the last step is fixing. We're gonna use a powder. This package is to prepare 1 liter of fixer. But we need only 500 milliliters, so the rest we will keep for tomorrow. So, as shown on this specific development tank, we need 485 milliliters of each and every solution. We make it more simple, half of the liter, and we have water, developer, stop and fixer. Now we are ready to develop a roll of film. After preparing all the chemicals, we are ready to develop a roll of film. I set up a timer, 1 minute for water, 11 minutes for developer, 30 seconds for stop solution and 5 minutes for fixer. We're starting now with water. This step with pre-washing your film is not absolutely necessary, but in most cases good to have. We put a film now to a wet solution, and the emulsion will keep the water and, which is more important, the temperature we need in our process. When we will put the developer into the tank, it will work faster and more even in a whole surface of film. 15 seconds to go. Now it's time for developer, 11 minutes. You always have to follow agitation process. It's normally You shake carefully first minute and then every 30 seconds. If you wanna your process be not that active, it could be rotating or spinning or turning a couple of times every minute. But normally first minute you need to refresh the developer into the development tank. This timer is beeping every 30 seconds, so I can stay on a nice track with agitation. So this is so-called semi-standing developer. Part of the time the development tank is just standing, and from time to time I need to refresh the chemicals to keep it active. And since we have 11 minutes, I will explain you what is going on physically and chemically right now. When you expose your film into the camera, means you made your shots, then halogenides of silver were affected by photons, by the light, and it was already a formation of the image, but this image is not visible, it's latent image, but it's already in the emulsion of halogenides of silver on the film. And now, once we put it into developer, those clusters of crystals of silver, which were sensitized by the light, they are transforming to a metallic silver, black metallic silver. You will see on the film, same with the silver gelatin paper, the different densities or different shades of gray up to very black, and this is just a metallic silver grains. So rotating and spinning, better to do carefully, and from time to time, bam, the tank, that's air bubbles, goes out of emulsion. Please do not shake it like that, carefully, and please do not drink the chemicals. We are 1 minute to change the solutions. After developer gonna go stop only for 30 seconds. Not absolutely necessary step, it could be just a water, but stop solution first of all will stop the development immediately, and it will keep our fixer more clean. So now the development tank is empty again, and we can put a stop solution inside. This now stopped the development process immediately. We will agitate it a bit. And the last and main process is a fixer. Depends on which are you using. Rapid, fast, acid or neutral, the time could be different. This we need to fix for 5 minutes. And to explain a bit the process, fixer actually do not fix anything, it's more like washing out the halogenides of silver, which were not exposed by the light, but still there in emulsion, and we need to wash them out. Then, when we will open the development tank, it will not destroy the whole image. We just need to keep the silver grains, metallic silver grains, which were exposed by the light and developed with the developer, and the rest we need to wash out. This is what fixer does. So we're almost done with the fixing after 5 minutes. And next step will be to wash the film properly. You can do it manually or You can do it using a shower or special archival washer. I will show some possibilities. So here we have developer stop and fixer, which you should recycle according to your country regulations. And now we use just the water. It could be a tap water, not necessary distillate water for washing. It's only important for developer. And we can just change it 10, 20 times to remove all the chemicals, especially fixer. Otherwise, the film will die after some time. So again, we can do it manually, just changing every 30 seconds a fresh water to remove the chemicals. And on this step, actually, now we can open the development tank and see if the development was done properly, and we have images on the film. Maybe it's not necessary to wash. Let's check. Yeah, the images are here. That's nice. I will put it back. And for archival washing, better to use a special device. The principle is pretty easy. It just water flow goes through that core in the tank, so it goes from the bottom to the top, and with that chamber it catches the airflow and produce the bubbles, and we're gonna wash the film much faster and definitely with archival quality, so none of the chemicals will stay inside. And it's around about 10 to 15 minutes. So while the film is washing, I will prepare the final wetting agent solution, which is necessary to avoid any kind of drops during the drying process. For that, we're gonna use a special eau de flor, which we can mix 1 plus 200, means 5 milliliters per 1 liter. And for that, it's better to use a distilled water. After washing, we will put a film in here for 1 minute. So the film into the development tank is washed for 15 minutes. And we just place it finally with a wetting agent for better drying without any drops. Now I will go to place it into the drying cabinet to protect from the dust. Now this black and white film is developed and properly washed, and I'm gonna put it to the drying cabinet for 1 night to protect it from the dust. If you do it at home, please try to find as dust-free space as possible. I would say it's probably a shower. And the film dries now for 1 night. The whole process took us around 1 hour. We loaded the film into the development tank in a total darkness, then prepared all the necessary solutions for the process. First it was water, then developer, stop and fixer, and After drying, the film gonna be ready for printing. Stay tuned, in the next episode we will show you how to print your first contacts, how to check the quality of film, how to adjust your workflow.